Everyone, welcome you all to JICE IAS Bangalore. I am Mohan Krishna, former civil servant, now associate with JICE Institute Bangalore. I would like to congratulate all of you for getting selected for UPSC interview. And if you are worried about your DAF, please don't worry. Relax. We are here to guide you on your interview as well as about how to answer questions on your DAF. JICE IAS Bangalore is having a rich experience of 20 years with more than 200 selections in the last few years. So JICE IAS Bangalore is providing you interview guidance program, both online as well as offline. In this interview guidance program, we are going to bring out a series of videos in which we are going to discuss your DAF, about how to answer questions on that. At the same time, we are going to discuss about what are the kind of questions you should expect on your DAF, and we are going to discuss about the members and what kind of question they might ask you based on their line of expertise. In this particular guidance program, we are going to conduct some mock interviews as well. So we request you all to enroll soon with our given contact details so that we can get on with the guidance program as soon as possible. I'm going to divide your DAF into multiple sections, such as your personal details will be discussed first. In the next session, I'll be discussing about your work experience and your educational qualification. And in the third session, I'm going to discuss about your hobbies and other extracurricular activities that you have mentioned in your DAF. So let's start with your first session. I hope all of you have your DAF application with you, and I want you to notice the details that you have mentioned, because most of the time the questions come from the DAF that you have mentioned. Most students, what they do is they just skip this personal details. They think that they are going to answer that on the face of it. Like when they face the interview panel, they'll answer that directly because they think, what is there in the personal details? I've been living for such a long time with I know everything about my personal details and there is nothing to prepare. That is the attitude of most of the aspirants. I'm telling you, most of the students fail to answer some of the questions they ask on their personal details. For example, name itself is a question. So can you imagine that? For example, let's say this is one of the DAF I have in front of me. So in this DAF, it says like the name of the aspirant is Vishnuvardhan. So Vishnu, the first name here, Vishnu. What is the meaning of that name? So correct, right? So it's a Lord name, you might say. So they might ask, what are the other names for Lord Vishnu? Then they might ask, what is the philosophy of Vaishnavism? See where it is going. Let's say the name itself is a question. So please remember the friends. Then they'll be asking you questions on your parents as well, like your mother, father, their profession, if they are in service, let's say, or their agriculture background and they have industrial background. So they'll be asking questions on that particular field as well. Let's say if your father or mother is in government service, they'll be asking you about where they have served, what is the current position they are serving, in which state they are serving, what are the roles they have performed till now. Okay, these are the kind of questions they are going to ask you. From your parents' work experience also, they might be asking you some questions. Okay, then comes the date of birth. Let's say in this DAF I have taken the date of birth of an aspirant as 23rd March and the year 2000. So you can notice that 23rd March has a historical significance. So they are going to ask you on your date of birth itself. What is the historical significance of your date? Think about it. 23rd March, correct? So what does it, what comes to your mind? Like you need to think about why it is called as Shahid Divas. So you know March 23rd, 1931, Sukhdev, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, they became martyrs, correct, in Lahore jail. So they might ask you about that. So they might ask about a lot of things. About like number itself is a question sometimes. Okay, if you have a mathematical background, they are going to ask that number and they'll ask about prime numbers and all. That itself is a different world altogether. Okay, next is place of birth or place in which your present residence is. There are two types of residence, there are two types of place they can ask. One is the place of birth and other is the place of work. Okay, so please remember, place of work also they have asked questions and place of birth also they have asked questions. Like for example, here the aspirant has written Thane, Maharashtra. Okay, So what is the importance of Thane for British during the colonial regime? See the question. Historical significance of the place. Why British developed first railway from Mumbai to Thane? What was the reason behind it? See, the question is coming up from the place also. Okay. If there are any GI associated with your place, so geographical indications, so they'll ask how the climate change has impacted your city. See, they have asked about how climate change is impacting your city. So that is something that you will be shocked, and if you have not prepared, you will be in trouble in the interview. So then state Maharashtra. See, you can see there are questions on Maharashtra. How many GIs are there in Maharashtra? What is like recent Lake Lonar was in news. National Geoheritage Monument status they've asked. They've asked about how regional imbalance in Maharashtra. Okay, so there have been many questions like this on state itself. Now comes the most important question. This is considered to be one of the most difficult questions for all aspirants. Like almost all aspirants worry about this particular question. Why? Why do you want to become an IAS? Or why do you want to enter civil services? So this is something that you need to work on, friends.